Right-click on the Windows icon in the taskbar and select Disk Management. In the list, you will find the existing partitions, that is, the C drive and any others created in the past. The same partitions are mentioned at the bottom, depicting the size of each partition. Here, I will be shrinking the existing E drive and freeing up space for another partition. You can also shrink the C drive. To do that, right-click on the partition and select Shrink Volume. Now, type the amount of space you want to shrink. It's the same as the storage you want to allocate to the new partition. Next, click on Shrink. You now have an unallocated space on the hard drive, marked by a black bar at the top. To convert this space into a usable partition or volume, right-click on it and select New Simple Volume. In the wizard, click Next. Now, enter the size you want to allocate to the new volume in megabytes. If you only want to create one new partition, enter all the space you freed up earlier. It's the maximum disk space mentioned here. Click Next. Now, assign a drive letter to the volume. You can go with the default selection or pick one from the list, but it's critical to set one. Once done, click Next. The next step is to format the new partition. If you are unsure about this stuff, go with the default selections. Otherwise, you can choose the GPT file system. Again, click Next. Finally, verify the selected settings for the new volume or partition and click Finish. Once done, the new partition, or drive as some call it, will open up in File Explorer. You see it's assigned the drive letter D as we selected earlier. You will also find it in the navigation pane on the left. But there's one thing still left. Click on this PC and verify that everything is all right with the new partition. I mean that it's visible and accessible to you. Here you see the disk management utility in Windows. We won't be using it, but this is just to give you an overview of the steps we will be performing later. So basically, we will be shrinking the D drive by 10 gigabytes and then creating a new partition on that space to store files. You could shrink another drive. It's up to you which drive you want to go with. If you want to use disk management to partition hard drives, we have another video for you. If you want to continue with the Diskpart utility, keep watching. Press Windows plus S, type Command Prompt, and click on Run as administrator. Click Yes in the prompt. Now type Diskpart and hit Enter. We now need to view the available disks. For that, type List Disk in the command prompt and hit Enter. You see disk 0 here because I only have one storage drive connected to the PC. To work on it, type Select Disk 0 and press Enter. If you have multiple disks here, enter the number assigned to the disk you want to work on. To view the existing volumes, type List Volume and hit Enter. As I told you earlier, I will be shrinking the D drive, that is Volume 1, with 169 gigabytes of storage space. To operate on the partition, type Select Volume 1 and hit Enter. We have now selected the volume we want to shrink to create a new partition on the drive. To shrink this volume by 10 gigabytes, type Shrink Desired equals 10,240, which is 10 gigabytes in megabytes. You could go with a different size for the partition. Say you want to allocate 50 gigabytes of space to the new partition. So use the command Shrink Desired equals 51,200. Or for 100 gigabytes, use Shrink Desired equals 102,400. Again, hit Enter. Again, type List Disk and hit Enter. We will again be working on disk 0, so type Select Disk 0 and hit Enter. This is the same disk that we have been working on all this time. To create a primary partition on the unallocated space we created earlier, type Create Partition Primary and hit Enter. We have now created a partition on the 10 gigabyte unallocated space. Let's go to Disk Management for a second. You see, this 10 gigabyte partition now has a blue bar, but there's a problem. When we go to File Explorer, the partition still doesn't show up. There are only two, not the third one that we saw in Disk Management. That's because we have yet to format the partition and assign a drive letter. To do that, go back to Command Prompt and type format fs equals ntfs quick and hit enter. The partition should be formatted using the NTFS file system within 10 to 15 seconds. It shouldn't take any longer. Once it's completed, all that's left is to assign a drive letter to the new volume. To do that, type assign letter equals E. Make sure you don't choose a letter that's already assigned to an existing partition. Check the volumes listed above, find out the next available drive letter, and use that. In my case, it was E. Finally, press Enter. Windows will now open the new partition in File Explorer. You see, local disk E is our new partition with 10 gigabytes of storage space, same as we said earlier. And since it has been formatted and assigned a drive letter, you can now access the volume and store files on it without running into any issues. We did all this using the built-in Diskpart utility and didn't rely on disk management or any third-party software. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you master Windows, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Windows Explained for more tips, tricks, and tutorials. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a Windows shortcut or fix. See you in the next one.